Hey, do you want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it everywhere and even earn money all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or your computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating right now. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take your conversation with your fans to the next level, Q&A and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free with no catch. I've hosted my podcast on Spotify for Podcasters since day one, so I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started today. Hey, AFBG family, welcome to the pod. Today's episode is a video podcast, so watch us on the Affirmations for Black Girls YouTube channel for a different experience, or just keep on listening. With more awareness and focus on mental health in today's society, Black women are redefining their identities. For far too long, we as Black women have been misrepresented in the media, in our homes, and connected with images of aggression, violence, and hypersexualization. We've been depicted as aggressive, masculine, angry, or rough around the edges. Thanks to writers like Shonda Rhimes, creator of the hit Netflix show Bridgerton, women of color are starting to be portrayed in a new light at tea parties, wearing soft floral dresses, for example. Slowly but surely, Black women are feeling more comfortable and encouraged to define their own identity and live softer lives. We are leaning into being more feminine, less stressed, amen, and embracing our soft girl era. What is going on, beautiful people? You are listening to the Affirmations for Black Girls podcast, where we focus on personal growth and cultivating a healthy relationship with ourselves. I am your host, Tyra, the creative actress, content creator, and mental health enthusiast. And today, you guys, my best friend is joining us again on the pod, and we will be talking about all things soft girl era because that is totally trending right now. My best friend, Bria Black, and I'm so excited to have her. Hello, Bria.
Hi, Tyra the creative. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you, girl?
I am so good now that I can be on your pod and see your beautiful face.
Ooh, thank you. Yes, if you guys have not heard her previous episode, we did living a life of luxury, implementing daily luxuries into your life. I will link it down in the show notes. It is a must listen, but it's been a while. It's been over a year since we recorded that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad to have you back. And fun fact, it's in the top 3 for most listened to episodes on the podcast.
Let me tell you, we be spitting gems on the pod, okay?
We do. We definitely do. So I'm super excited to jump in today about soft girl era. But before we jump in, you guys, Bria is going to lead us in our affirmation for the week.
Everybody ready? Center yourselves, close your eyes, and let's do the affirmation. I am embracing my femininity. I am embracing my femininity. I am embracing my femininity. Last time, I am embracing my femininity.
Ooh,
How was it? Are you embracing
my femininity? I'm starting to. I'm really starting to. I don't think, like, for literally the longest, like, I think this is a powerful affirmation because, especially growing up in the South, something that I heard growing up, you a tomboy. You always playing with all the little boys. Granted, I only had 2 girl cousins growing up, and they were way younger than me. Like, like 4 or 5 years, but that's a lot when you only 8 years old. So
I am starting to finally embrace my femininity. And we've talked about this a few times, so I'm excited to dive in today. Okay, Bria. So soft girl era is something that's been trending on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of these things. What is soft girl era? Because I really don't even truly know what it is. I feel like today we just explored and we're going to figure out what it means to us. But what do you think soft girl era actually is?
Based on the TikToks I've seen and just people talking about it, I've gathered that girl era is essentially having a life without hardship, having a life where things are easy, things feel good, is not a lot of negative emotions, it's just
Mm-hmm.
soft.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Um, Honestly, like going back to the affirmation, I think it's all about embracing your feminine side, like the
Mm,
just like being soft and nurturing. And in my last relationship, something that he used to say all the time was, I think we talked about this too. I dress like a dude. I'm always
mm,
wearing flannels. I'm very hard. You know
mm,
what I mean? But it's like, I feel like the reason that soft girl era is becoming an era right now is because for so, especially for Black women, for so long
mhm,
we've had to be hard. We've had to do all of these things because the men have not stepped up, or like we have only been able to really, like, as a whole, like generally speaking, count on ourselves. And I feel like
mhm,
now light is being shined onto it. So it's just
mhm,
saying, like, soft girl era is being able to be nurturing, being able to feed your feminine energy, because we all have feminine and masculine energy.
mhm,
So I just think that soft girl era literally just means take a second to, but yeah, like you said, like no negative emotions and all the kind of stuff, because I do like equivocate that to um being hard and always having to like just be in control and figure stuff
mhm,
out and not being able to be
mhm,
nurturing, cook
mhm.
dinner, do a face
Yeah,
mask, drink some wine, stuff like that. And I
yeah,
just think that it's an era because now we're shedding light on those things that we've had to do, and we're revolutionizing.
yeah,
Does that make
yeah.
sense?
It does, and I think that to your point, I think that it only could emerge at a time like this because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
now people are becoming, I don't know, just more, I guess, financially responsible in a sense, or like they have
Mm-hmm.
more control over being able to be soft. Because I feel
Yeah.
like being hard is something that you can't really control. You're kind of forced to do it because
Oh,
I have to
yes.
go hard. I have to do this. I have to take care. But like now, as people get more flexibility, can have more money to spend on things. Or I don't know if it's the money or if it's just a mindset. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. But I feel like it used to, the hardness came out of necessity, whereas now we're making an active choice to be like, I don't care what I used to do. I'm making a decision to not feel that way and not operate that way anymore.
I love that you said that, because as soon as you said that, like, we're becoming more financially conscious, I just think about like past generations, right? Like
Mm,
my grandma, my mama.
mhm,
And I forgot what I was listening to, but I was listening to something where it was saying like like grandmas, they really never do anything for themselves. Like that's not something
mm-mm,
that they ever do. But then when you go down to your mom, your grandmother's children, they may do one thing for themselves every now
mhm,
and then, type of thing.
mhm,
And now it's that trickle down effect. Tyra
mhm.
gonna get a massage. Tyra
Period.
gonna get a facial. I got my
Period.
nails done yesterday. They look
Period.
like, girl, my nails, they look regular, like they look natural, but this literally took 2 hours to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm,
it's just, and I'm just starting to lean into this. And I will say, like, it was hard at first. I think this, and I'm so glad that you're here today, because I think this really goes hand in hand with daily luxuries. So so in my last relationship, back when he used to say, okay, you need to be more girly and all this kind of stuff, I took it to heart, because I was like, first of all, I am a girl.
mhm,
Second of all, what do you mean I'm too masculine? Third of all, that's a conversation for another day, because I have to have the space to be feminine and
Come on, somebody.
all of that type of stuff. And more recently in the relationship that I'm in now, I have been able to be a girl. Like I haven't had
Mm-hmm.
to wear the pants in the relationship and stuff. But when
Mm-hmm.
he started saying that stuff to me in my previous relationship this was 2020. This was during the pandemic, actually, when this started to really come about. It really, like, I really took it to heart. But then I said,
Yeah.
okay, Tyra, you know what? You actually do want to be more feminine, because I wouldn't get my
Yeah.
hair done.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do anything, because it's like I got work to do. I'm out in LA doing all this type of stuff. So I bought my first bottle of perfume, Gucci Gardena. Okay. Now,
Period.
period. Now, I didn't really like how the perfume smelled, but I bought it because I wanted this perfume that my mama had, and I thought that was the right one, but it wasn't. But I never took it back because I was trying to flex a muscle. I was trying to
Mm-hmm.
implement daily luxuries of making sure
Mm-hmm.
I smell good on a daily
Mm-hmm.
basis. So I think that is when I started embracing soft girl era, before it became like a trending thing. And that's why I say it's like a revolution, because it's like more people
Mm-hmm.
are jumping on this wave. So when do you think you started embracing being a soft girl?
I think to your point about it being similar to the daily luxuries thing, it happened during the same time
Mm-hmm.
because out of the pandemic, I had no reason to dress up. I had no reason to get my hair done. I had no reason to do anything. I was just girl looking like, smelling like, being like all kind of stuff, and it was not good. And I was like, I gotta get it together. So in my head, I was like, I'm gonna start implementing daily luxuries to kind of like treat myself and kind of like get myself in the habit of putting myself first.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it kind of became less about the luxuriousness of it and more about the me part of it and the selfishness of it and me listening to and wanting to be exactly who I am and doing stuff that I want and just being really selfish, but intentionally
Yeah.
selfish. And so they kind of go hand in hand. So it's not like I spend so much money on all these luxurious things, but I'm intentional about spending money on things that make me feel good.
Yeah.
And to the point about soft girl era, is like being soft makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Like wearing cozy clothes and going to get massage, like that stuff makes me feel good and it makes me feel soft and it makes me feel feminine. So
Mhm.
it kind of goes hand in hand.
It really does. It honestly really does. And I definitely, like, to your point about cozy clothes, like, I just bought this new, it's way over there, but I just bought this new cardigan thing from Target. And look, come on, cardigan
From
team.
Target.
Right. So, like, and it was only what, like $20 for that. And I literally love to bundle up in it on the weekends, at night. Like, it's the little things. It
It's
really,
the little
really
things.
is. So, like, I definitely identify with how you said being soft makes you feel good, because it really, really does. It
Yeah.
makes me feel good too. So,
Yeah, yeah. Even like just getting when you are at a place where your hair is freshly done, nails freshly done,
girl.
freshly waxed, new outfit, you like can do anything. I can conquer the world, and it gives you such a confidence and like an
Hmm.
energy. And that's the softness. Like you're
Hmm.
embracing and stepping into that full femininity. And every girl I feel like can relate to just knowing when you have everything done, you feel like untouchable. Like
Hmm.
you could do whatever.
Untouchable, untouchable.
Untouchable, untouchable.
Okay,
Seriously.
so what would you say to people who's like, girl, I don't have the money to be a soft girl? Like, what? I feel like there's a stigma behind being a soft girl, because when you do see like soft girl era TikToks and stuff like that, it's always people buying themselves coffee, facials,
Mhm. Mhm.
stuff that requires, quote unquote, money. So what would you
Mhm.
say to people that's like, okay, well, I'm grinding right now.
I honestly would say to them that it's less about the things, but how you feel, how
Mhm.
things make you feel. And something that somebody who is a super grinder, I feel like will probably do is be like, I got it. I'm just doing it on my own. I don't need
Yeah.
no help. I don't want to. But it's like being soft, being feminine is kind of like I need help. Like, can you help me?
Mhm.
Can you pick up this bag for me? Can you can you go run this errand for me? And maybe it's not asking a man, but it's just having
Yeah.
help. It's not shouldering the burden of every single thing. It's not being overly anxious because you have 10 things to do because you won't
Yeah.
ask for help. It's like literally getting rid of as many negative emotions as you can, the
Mhm.
stress, the headaches, the go, go, go. Like you can be leisure because you're not on a strict timeline. So just kind of like changing your mindset about what it looks like to get things done and asking somebody for help is
Yeah.
a soft thing to do. Not putting such strict deadlines on yourself, very soft thing to do. And just not making or creating or allowing yourself to be stressed. Like
Mhm.
getting rid of anything that makes you feel stressed or anxious to me is soft as well. And that's for free.
Yeah. Ooh, and that's for free. Yes, I love that. I really do. So like just learning how to delegate. That's something
Yes.
that has been so hard for me. Like now it's easy. Now I'm like, okay, I'm going to get my hair done.
Period.
I need to make an appointment today actually to go get my hair done again. Literally, and all she gonna do is wash it and blow dry it, and then I'll
Mhm.
figure out the rest later. But I I'm so glad that I started flexing that muscle. And by all means, y'all, we are not saying that it's easy. Like it is a muscle that you have to flex, especially if you've had
Mhm.
to live in a state of grind, like you have always had to do stuff for yourself. That's hard
Mhm.
to like unlearn. It's hard to flex that muscle if you haven't. So like I said, the first thing that I did was buy perfume, and that trickled into other areas of my life. I just started getting my hair done again for real late last year when I got braids. And
Mhm.
that just made me feel so good. And it's like once you have these feelings of, oh my gosh, I felt so good, it's going to be easier to implement stuff into other areas of your life that give you that same feeling.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
a feeling. It's a feeling, and I feel like in everything that I do, I try to be cognizant about like, how does this make me feel right now? Like, am
Hmm.
I super anxious? Am I on edge? Do I feel overwhelmed? And if so, what do I have to do to not feel like this? Because I don't like feeling like that. I want to
Right.
feel like I feel when I have a fresh hairdo and a fresh manicure. Like I want to feel like that.
Hmm.
And it's like just a mindset shift is so hard, but it's so necessary because at the end of the day, being overwhelmed is not sustainable.
Yeah.
Being anxious all the time is not sustainable either. Like soft girls, it's just a more sustainable life
Yeah.
for your internal like nervous system.
Ex- oh, exactly. And we can literally go down a rabbit hole of this, but it's like all of like that fight or flight,
Hmm.
whatever we have on the inside of us was from years and years ago when we had to
Hmm.
run from predators, right?
Come on, somebody.
And we had to constantly like live in that state, but it's like that's why they ain't live long. What are you talking about? That's
Hello.
why 20, 25, 30, like you know
Hello.
what I mean? Their lifespan was so much shorter because all of that stress and compounded stress literally shaves years off of your life. So anything
Hmm.
that you can do to be soft, and we keep saying soft, but literally I think it can be equated to a stress-free life if you don't,
Yeah.
like all the titles like soft girl and all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
A stress-free life or a less stressful life, whatever. Um, something that's free is meditation,
Hello.
praise and worship music, free.
Hello. A
Taking a
walk.
walk, amen. Taking a walk, free. You gotta eat. Turn off the TV. Stop looking at the news. Stop scrolling on social media because everything on social media right now, I was just talking to Tracy about this. Everything is just so negative and so heavy.
Mhm. Mhm.
And turn off the phone. Savor your
Mhm.
food. Think about the seasonings that went into it. If you cooking tonight, put on some music, pour a glass of wine. If you don't drink wine, pour your favorite juice. Like, you know what I
I got
mean?
one. Turn the big light off and put on a candle or a lamp.
Oh, turn the big light off. Yes, 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 yes. Turn the big light off. Actually, so yesterday was Valentine's Day and we did the adventure challenge. Well, Bria knows about this, but y'all, if y'all are listening, last night I did a dinner date adventure challenge, and I've talked about the adventure challenge on the podcast before. But it's just a book of either solo ideas or things that you can do with friends, couples, whatever, depending on the book you got. So last night, my boyfriend and I did a dinner date, and literally the challenge was turn off all the lights and put tea lights all around the house. And then the actual challenge was to answer like some questions, like what's your biggest disappointment in life and like stuff like that. But first of all, I got so sleepy, like relaxed. I was so relaxed. I was like, I could just go to sleep right now because the candlelight was just so relaxing, and it really helped not be so stressed. So like the big light, harsh, yellow, dreary, drab, like, you know what I mean? But candlelight, like that's a vibe.
It's a vibe, girl.
It's
It's
a
a vibe.
vibe. So I definitely turned the big light off, and you'll save money on your electric bill. It's a win-win.
Tyra, can I tell you something else that I feel like I've changed over the last couple years too, like doing this whole soft girl era thing?
Do tell.
I have a phrase that I say more often than I've ever said.
What?
The phrase is bump that job.
Baby, you already know I know.
Bump that job, because before the pandemic, before when I was going into work, I wanted to be like this corporate. I want to be a VP. I just want to dominate, right? Through the pandemic and just learning about how fragile life is and about how I can really hone in and tap into like a more stress-free lifestyle. At this point, girl, bump that job. If they stressing me out, but forget y'all. I'm not answering no Slack. I'm a log in when I want to log in. Of course, get my job done, but I don't have this like overwhelming desire to like succeed and be super. I don't care anymore. Like I want to have a stress-free life. And if that means that I'm not a top performer, okay. Like I have other things that can fulfill me and make me happy. And just having that difference of like things that I prioritize have made me a lot less stressed as well.
I 1,000% agree. Just so you know. I think like job performance and all that stuff is a social construct anyway. I think it is 100% stuff that is just perpetuated by these huge companies to get people to stay in the same routine. Like people get trips because they've been with a company for 40 years. Who?
Yes.
Why?
Who? Why? No.
Like and you've known me for a long time. Like the full-time job lifestyle is just not for me. And that's why, like, even though so fun fact, you guys, I have a 9 to 5 right now, but it's remote and it's very, very low stress for the most part. But there's been times where I've been on the brink of caring, right? Because when I care, I care.
You go all in.
Right. You know what I mean? And for a job, I can't do that because I'm not about to care about your company more than you care about your company. And the moment I said, and my manager called me and she was like, don't quit on me. And I was like, because you already know. You already know I'm not tied down to this. I'm not, because I know that if it is for me, it will not miss me. I know that God always got my back. Like I really lean heavily on that thought and that sentiment, that because now I'm not adding no more stress to my life. The last year and a half has been stressful enough for your girl.
Okay.
So bump that job. 100%.
Bump that job.
I need to get that on a shirt. Bump that job. Bump that job. 100%. And I think I was talking to Alexis the other day, and we were just talking about like therapy and stuff. And she was like, I will never spend my therapy session talking about my job again. And I was like, wow, what you mean? And she was like, I am not about to pay. I forgot how much she paid, but let's just say it was $200. I'm not about to pay $200 to talk about no job. And I was like, that makes so much sense, because we are more than our jobs. We have all these other areas of our lives that we need to unpack and, you know, talk about in therapy and stuff. And I'm like, you're right. Like there is no reason to talk about your job because therapy is personal. Your job ain't personal. So I just thought, like, if anybody is in a space where they are like, they live, breathe, sleep, eat their job, Think about it like that. Your job is not personal. Even if it is something that you want to accomplish and something that you're proud to have and have pride in, it's not personal, because at the end of the day, they could fire you in 2 seconds, but you got to put in a 2-week notice. It's not a reciprocal relationship. Therefore, it's
So
not
true.
personal.
So
That's all I
true.
got to say on jobs. Because, you know, I can listen.
We can go all
We can
day.
go. We can
We
go
can go
all
all day.
day.
Brooks Running has a new shoe for you runners out there. Did you hear that? Better turn up your volume. In fact, turn it up to the max. Introducing the all-new Ghost Max. It's got all kinds of things to make your knees and ankles feel protected, like Max Cushion, Max Soft Landings with DNA Loft V2 foam, and Max Smooth Rides with their Glide Roll Rocker. Feel better on your run with Ghost Max. Learn more at brooksrunning.com.
This episode is brought to you by Seed's DSO1 Daily Symbiotic, a 2-in-1 probiotic and prebiotic formulated with 24 clinically and scientifically studied strains to support healthy regularity and your gut, immune, and skin health. Optimize your gut health. Visit seed.com/Spotify with code Spotify for 30% off your first month of Seed's DSO1 Daily Symbiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Okay, so any of the stereotypes on Black women, like being aggressive, masculine, angry, over-sexualized, violent, etc., any of these stereotypes, have they ever been put on you? And if so, how have you dealt with that and really like found your true identity?
I think the biggest one that I've always been told is just being like super loud.
Oh yeah.
Being loud. I in my relationship, I could be like controlling
Really?
potentially. I think early on I
I
was more
wish I was
controlling
in a
than I
relationship
am
with you,
now.
or a fly on the wall in a romantic relationship so I could see.
I mean, the way I am now and the way that I used to be is like very different. And I
Okay.
think that and I do think that like I don't know, because I've been married for so long, a part of me really wanted to lean into like being a homemaker or like being super feminine, uber feminine,
Mhm.
whatever. But honestly, I'm not just that person naturally. I'm not just the most feminine, looking cute all the time person. And so
Mhm.
it's really been a balance of like, I think that I am like, uh, I can be masculine, but also having room to express my feminine too.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's hard for me to say what people put on me because I don't
Yeah.
really care what people put on me. Like
Yeah.
I kind of know who I am, and so I've never really internalized other people's perception of me. So this
Mhm.
is a hard question for me to answer. What about you?
I have internalized a lot of stuff. Like people would
Mm,
literally call me, I mean, like family when I was growing up. Tyra is a tomboy. Tyra likes to
mm,
run with the boys and all this type of stuff. Um, like I said, growing up, I only had 2 girl cousins. So what else was I
yeah,
supposed to do? Just not play with nobody? Like I'm confused. Like your
yeah,
environment literally grooms you into who you are. And I was around boys,
yeah.
which isn't an issue, but I think that tomboy title stuck with me for a long time. And I think even in college and stuff, I was up to like being in college, I never really had like I never let my girlfriends get super close, but it was
Mm,
so much easier for me to have guy friends and confide in them and trust them, and it was comfortable. You know, it was familiar because I grew up, I only have a brother. I only have boy cousins for the most part, or growing up I did. Now I have a slew of girl cousins, but they 10, 15 years younger than me. You know what I mean? So it's always been easier for me. And I think I leaned into that. I was like, oh, well, it must be this. Like, you know, I was very
mm,
much so that type of child. Like, I believed the things that were told to me because I believed that people wouldn't lie, or not
mm,
even necessarily that they were lying. I believed things that people said as truth versus opinion.
mhm, mhm.
And I think I started to get out of that probably, I don't know, maybe like sophomore year of college, you know? That's when I started to, well, I was friends with you by then, JC, so I started to get Tracy. I started to get more girlfriends. And then by the time I made it to Jersey, I only had girlfriends. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I think I was easily impressionable growing up. And I'm glad that I like got to flex that muscle. But even like back in 2020, when my ex-boyfriend told me that I was masculine and stuff, I internalized it, but I think I internalized it in a good way, because I said, okay, Tyra, well, you do want to be more feminine, so let's go ahead and do it. I took actionable steps after that versus just saying, well, I must be a man.
Girl. and the crazy part about hearing you talk about this is like, I totally understand your perspective and how you feel, but being your friend, I never got like manly, masculine vibes. And I feel like it's something that you said earlier, is like certain people bring certain things out of you. And when you're in certain environments, like certain things or certain aspects of you shine more than others. And I've always seen you as like maternal, honestly, very
Really?
maternal. Yes, cooking, caring. Did you eat? How are you? How are you feeling? It's always been very feminine. And so I don't know. It's just interesting to hear you talk about how others perceive you versus how I perceive you, because I feel like I've known you in maybe different ways than other people have.
Yeah.
So that's just interesting.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, now that you say that, I'm like, yeah, that it is. And that's the thing. Life is crazy. Life is literally crazy, because you can literally be 5 different people, quote
Yes.
unquote, because
Yes.
of the experiences that you have shared with those people. And granted, like in this relationship example, it was not like it just wasn't a good environment, point blank, period. Like I said, like you have to have space and opportunity for femininity to show up, because it is soft. The masculine energy is more so like forward facing, bold. Okay, I'm gonna get this done, strong, strength. And I think that's why like Black women are always stereotyped as aggressive. All of these more masculine terms, like they're not necessarily negative terms, but they're more, they feed more into the masculine energy, because there's no space for our femininity to show up, because we got to survive. We have to get things done. Like, you know what I mean? And I think in that relationship, not even think, I know I wore the pants in that relationship, and he will always say, you sow this, you sow that. You're not giving me space and
Because if I don't, who will?
Exactly.
If I don't, who will?
Nobody. We both gonna be in a ditch somewhere when then. So that's really how I felt about that.
Yeah. And to be honest, I feel like the reason why I think it was easy for me to lean into the feminine side is because of maybe like an opposite scenario. Like my partner is very masculine, and like I, feel comfortable being feminine, and I feel like I'm not gonna miss a meal, or my bills aren't gonna get paid, or whatever negative emotions come with like making people have to feel like they're gonna be masculine. I feel like because I have that masculine energy, I feel comfortable leaning into the femininity.
I love that. And that's like in my current relationship, that's how I feel too. We had that conversation early on, because it was foreign to me to feel that way, to feel safe to be soft. And I remember
safe
one
to be
time,
soft. Ooh.
Yeah, feel safe
Ooh.
to be soft. I never felt that way with my ex-boyfriend. I'm trying not to use names. I never felt that way with him. And it's like me, it felt like I was sitting back and watching it happen. I was like, dang, Tyra, like this is so different. Like this was inside of you. Like that's how I was feeling. I was shocked. I was like, oh my God. And then one day, this was a long time ago, I was like, what is something about me? I forgot the question. What's something that I asked him? What is something about me that you like that was a pleasant surprise or something? I don't know. But he said, you're very nurturing. Like I've watched you with your plants, and you've just been so nurturing with me. And I was just like, that took me aback, because nobody has ever said that to me, especially in romantic relationship. Nobody has ever said that. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then he also brought up, because I have a hummingbird feeder on my balcony. And he was like, and you just get so excited when you see the hummingbirds eating from your hummingbird feeder, and you make sure that it's always like new. Like, he just went into detail. And I was just like, I do that. I really do. You right. I am nurture. Like, you right. And I just never felt like that in the past. I haven't.
Yeah.
And it's a great turn of events, because now, if you ask me, I'm super feminine. I'm nurturing. You know what I mean? Like, I do feel that motherly instinct and stuff like that. But back then, for some reason, I don't know. I couldn't see it. I just couldn't see it.
It's in you, girl. It's in you. You got it. You got it, girl.
I got it. I got it. So I have a few notes here, and it says living a soft life is unapologetically prioritizing self-needs. This was said by a assistant professor of sociology at Howard University. Everybody understands self-care, but Black women generally have had a difficult time because they're often prioritizing other folks' needs over themselves. It's a new rendition of self-care that is really unapologetically prioritizing what it is that we need, in rejection of this strong Black woman narrative that so many of us have been cultured into adopting.
That's so deep.
That is deep. It really is. And I love that she says it's unapologetically prioritizing yourself. Just off the top of my head, when I was reading that, I was talking to my mama, and she apologizes a lot. She'll say, sorry, but I need to take a day to myself. I need to take a day to myself. Sorry does not need to be in that sentence, because why are you apologizing? You have to put you first. And this goes back to what you were saying about being selfish. We should always be being selfish. And selfish, the word selfish has such a negative connotation. And I don't understand why, because if we are not selfish and if we are not filling our own cups, we literally have nothing to give to other people. You're supposed to give from your overflow. You're supposed to fill up yourself so that you have more to give, not the other way around. Like, you just gonna run yourself ragged trying to put other people ahead of you. And I don't know, that's just the first thought that came to my mind about this.
Absolutely. And something else, I'm trying to connect these dots here, but when we talk about the stereotypes that Black women often fall under, like, I'm trying to find the exact list, but like being aggressive or being masculine or even being over sexualized, all of those things stem from women trying to do something for other people.
Yeah.
So like, you're aggressive because you're trying to take care of your kids. You're masculine because you're trying to do stuff for other people. You're over sexualized because you want to prioritize the needs of a man over your own sexual needs. So it's like all these negative things that emerge about Black women are only because we're trying to be such a provider for everybody else. And just thinking about how selfish it can be to do things for yourself. To your point, it sounds negative, but it's so necessary because everybody else is selfish.
Literally.
But us.
Literally.
Everybody else will put their needs first, but us.
Yeah.
So it's like, we the people that's struggling.
Yeah.
Because we won't put ourselves first.
That's so crazy that you say that. It is, all of that is because we still prioritizing other people, even in the negative stereotypes. That's so,
literally,
that's mind-boggling to me.
Literally.
Wow.
One thing that I've been talking to my therapist about lately is my lack of boundaries.
Ooh.
I have not a lack of boundaries, but a lack of me enforcing my boundaries. And so my husband has great boundaries. If he don't want to do something, he won't do it.
Yeah.
And that's a boundary that he said. He's like, well, I just don't want to. Whereas me, I'm like, well, I don't want to do this, but I'll do it for you because, well, I don't really feel like it. But it's like, else around me is firm on their boundaries. They do what they want to and they don't do what they want to. And here I am trying to appease all these other people. No. If the only way that I can be truly happy and satisfied and not resentful of other people when they establish their boundaries is if I establish my own boundaries and if I think about myself first. Like, it just has so many repercussions when you don't when you aren't selfish, you get resentful and angry. And another negative stereotype, but it just
Right.
comes from you not having what you need.
That's crazy because that's so hard though. Because it's like,
It is.
I do love you and I can do, it's not that.
It's like, I can do it. It's fine. It's
Right.
fine.
It's fine.
I'll
It's
do
fine.
it. It's fine.
But it's like, and that's why life is literally, you spend your whole life trying to master life. So I'm trying to think, because I'm literally the same way. If I don't feel strongly about it, I will bend. And how do you stop that from happening? Like, especially for your significant other.
Right.
So what have you been doing to flex your boundaries?
Honestly, oh my God, it's so hard, but I just have to ignore my first mind.
Mhm.
My first mind will always say, it's fine, you can do it. But I really be thinking about, if the roles were reversed, what would he do in this scenario? And it's
Yeah.
always, he would
He just not doing it.
he would enforce his boundary. And it's like, if he can enforce his boundary, I have to enforce my boundary, because the repercussion of me not is an argument in 5
Mhm.
days, because I'm like, I'm always doing stuff for you. You da 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 da. But it's like, nobody told you to do that.
Yeah.
Nobody told you not to put yourself first. You
Mhm.
did that. And so
Right.
now you're mad at everybody else because you decided not to put yourself first. So just thinking about, like, in the moment, switching roles, what would they do in this scenario? And then thinking about, in the future, am I going to resent myself? Am I going to
Mhm.
be mad at myself for not putting myself first? Am I going to regret this moment?
Oh, I love that you said that. Am I going to regret this moment? Am I going to be mad for not putting myself first? Am I putting myself first, y'all? That's hard. That's
That's
crazy.
hard.
It's so hard to do, but it's so necessary. And I think all of that wraps up into this soft girl, soft life. Soft life,
Soft
just
life.
making sure that you are taking inventory, checking in with yourself, asking yourself, am I happy? Am I honoring myself? Like I was talking about this in a previous episode, like it's so easy for us to cultivate and maintain tangible relationships that we can see with our eyes, but it's like we always forget about relationship with self. And it's like for example, when you dishonor your boundary, you get mad at Pat, but you need to get mad at yourself because
Hello.
you know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
never, that's a situation where we always point a finger. Just like to put it into another scenario, like if your man is talking to another girl and you get mad at the girl and we like, no man, what you get mad at her for? It's literally the same thing. You know what I mean? The same like concept. No, why are you looking at the thing? You need to be talking to the person that you are with, like, you know. And in this scenario with your boundaries, you need to be talking to yourself. You need to have that same energy with yourself.
Yeah.
And that's so
Get that
hard.
same
That's
energy
so
with
hard.
yourself. Yes.
Literally be like, okay, Tyra, we got boundaries. What do we need to do to be able to implement strategies to hold our boundaries strong? Because it's so hard. It's so hard, but it's also worth it.
And a lot of times too, like when you really are introspective, you realize that some stuff is not as deep
Yeah.
as you make it out to be. Like you feel like you have to do that. I have to go hard. I have to. But it's like, you don't. If you don't, you really don't have to do all that stuff. If you really think about it. And yeah, just being introspective really allows you to say, like, what is the core, like what is the truth of this? Not what I perceive it to be, what's the actual truth of it, and what are the repercussions if I do or don't do this thing in reality, not what I think. You know what I mean?
Right.
Be a soft girl is to put yourself first. Putting yourself first in regard to mental, physical, spiritual, and financial health. Black women are finally taking back their identities and choosing a softer existence. And Bria and I are both here for it. From letting go of the stereotypes society puts on us to discovering more about who we truly are and what makes us happy, Soft Girl Era, in my opinion, is a renaissance of femininity. More space is being cultivated for us to express our feminine, nurturing sides. And not only that, we are also taking matters into our own hands. As Bria said, living an overwhelmed life isn't helping, and it will never be beneficial to you and your well-being. So, how are you increasing your quality of life? What does it mean to you to be a soft girl? What new habits or old habits are you going to implement into your life to live more stress-free and soft? The bottom line is, we deserve to live life the way we want to live it and to finally put ourselves first. Whether that means focusing on self-care, living a life of greater luxury, or finally allowing ourselves to wear those pastel colors we've always envied on other women with less melanin. Whatever it looks like for you, your soft girl era starts now.
Okie dokie. You guys know what time it is. It is time for our fun closing segment. Bria, are you ready?
No.
Okay, so today's closing segment is going to be a podcast guest spotlight, if you will. And I'm just going to ask you a few questions. And I actually just thought of this because I have this. So I have this Inner Circle Red Table Talk expansion pack of We're Not Really Strangers. And I talk about this game all the time on the podcast. But I would love to ask you one of these questions. Or let's see. Let's do two questions. Let's do two questions.
I actually want that game. I need to get that.
I love this game.
I went to Target to get it before Valentine's Day, but they didn't have it in stock.
Which one did you want?
Whatever We're Not Strangers. Whatever.
No,
one.
there's different ones. So I have Honest Dating. I have this one, and then I have Breakup Addiction.
OMG, Tyra.
Yeah, there's different games, different ones. There's one for just you as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I just picked one. So this is a level 2 card, Connection. Oh, this is cute. Okay, a perfect day together would be blank.
With me and you?
Yes. Who else?
Okay. Perfect day together. I feel like we've had so many perfect days together already. I'm going to try to remember one that we've had.
Okay.
Perfect day will be waking up not early. It's not early. Maybe right before brunch time, honestly.
Okay.
We go to brunch. We have a really unique brunch experience. So that way you can be like, ooh, I taste the and this and I'm like, ooh, what is that?
And I'm like,
and then we eat brunch, and then we I take it back. We do a workout class in the morning. We do a workout class, and they have good music, and then we go to brunch, and then we do an activity. So let's say we just like go to like a lake or something, and they got a activity, and we play a game at the lake. Like it's like I don't know, we play horseshoes or something. I don't know, we just play a game, right?
You know me so well.
And then we do that for a little bit, and then we come back to wherever we're staying, and we just like maybe watch a funny movie or just talk and tell jokes and create stories and laugh at stupid stuff and get a cocktail over cocktails.
Yes.
Over cocktails. And we get dinner and we tell stupid stories over cocktail.
This is a long day.
I know. My day with you has to be long. I want to take up all my hours.
I think that is a perfect day. I would 100% agree. You know me so well, or we know each other so well to know like how to curate the perfect day that we both would enjoy. I would literally not add anything to that.
Nothing?
No. The only thing that I would say is, I'm just trying to add something.
I feel like we should go shopping. I feel like the day that we went shopping for our apartment in college was so stupid, but it was so fun.
It took all day.
We bought 3 things that were so useless.
I don't even know what that stuff is.
Girl, me either. A giant paper clip.
Literally. Talking about decor. What else we bought? We bought fake flowers. And then we
Fake
bought a vase.
flowers.
And
A giant.
that wine vase, that matte black wine shaped vase. Wine bottle shaped vase.
So
That's
stupid.
it. We was in Hobby Lobby for like 6 hours.
Hours. And we just walked around laughing at everything.
And that's the thing. One of my favorite parts of our relationship is our inside jokes, and just how easy it is to, like, how early I was like, untouchable. And then you just joined in. Like, people don't be doing that. That is such an underrated, like, relationship thing or thing in relationships. Like, when you could just do that.
And the fact that we both have seen every episode of SpongeBob, so we can make endless SpongeBob references. If you didn't watch SpongeBob, I don't think we could be friends for real. I'm just being honest.
I'm literally being honest. Like, I will literally toot my nose up at you because how are you a millennial and you have not? I Wombo, you Wombo, he, she, me, Womboing. Okay.
Tangent. Off track.
Super tangent. Okay, one more question. Then we got to get out of here. Level 3, reflection. This is a good one. You've shown me blank about myself. And we both gonna answer.
I feel like you give me feelings of like self-worth and validation.
Really?
Yeah, because I just think so highly of you. I just think you are like the most creative, like you're the most hardworking, you're so many of the most things. And so whenever you affirm me, the fact that it's coming from you is just like, Tyra thinks that about me? Like, really? Like, you really think that about me? But it just gives me a level of like affirmation and self-confidence that only somebody like you could give. And so you make me feel good. You make me feel good. You make me feel confident. And I appreciate you for that.
I love you so much. Why are you so far away? I just want to touch your shoulders like this. Oh, that's so nice to hear. That's so nice to hear. Thank you for sharing that. You have shown me so much. Like, where can I even start? What do I want to touch on for this question?
Oh Lord.
You've shown me a lot about myself. How about that? Now expound. So one thing that I absolutely love is that you have created such a safe space for me. Cause listen, feelings under wraps. Friends don't know anything that Tyra feeling. Tyra likes to laugh, joke, keep it very surface. And I don't know what kind of magic you sprinkled on the nape of my neck, but you make it so easy to come to you and say, I need you. I need help. I need a friend. I only want to talk to you. Like, it's literally to the point where it's like, okay, I need to talk to Bria. That's it. It's not, who can I run to?
Girl, I'm screaming. When I need love.
It's not that. It's like, okay, I need to talk to Bria because I know that you don't judge me. I feel safe. I like, and you don't take anything that I've said and bring it up in the future. Like, you know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. I don't feel like you would ever do that. So you've just created this super, super duper safe space. And yeah, you're my closest friend. Say that again, because I couldn't hear you.
I love you so much.
I love you too. I love you too. Oh gosh. This was fun. Okay, you guys. So that was the end of our fun closing segment. Bria, thank you so much for joining us. Ooh, everybody is doing this now. Oh, they look cute, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't know I could do that for real.
Heart.
A little heart with your hands. Is there anything that you want to leave listeners with, like a little piece of advice that they can take and run with and just lean into a more soft life? Even if you're a man, like listening to the podcast, you could also lean into a more soft life, because we all should have a certain level of softness to us.
My desire for people, Black women especially, is for you to experience a peace that surpasses all understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes from, for me personally, a relationship with God,
Mm-hmm.
but also just deep introspection and taking off the things that society has put on you, what you have put on yourself, and really having a chance to just feel free and peaceful and just not anxious. Just a peaceful life. And so I say that you can do that. You might think that it's reserved for other people and not you, but it's reserved for you too, and you have a right to it, and you have to do whatever it takes to access it, because once you experience that peace, your life will be changed forever. So do the work and get to it so you can have the best life ever.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. Yes, get to it. You will have the best life ever. Create that momentum. That's it. And then the momentum will keep you going. You know what I mean? The hardest part is to get started. The most uncomfortable part is to just get started. Well, thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. I will link her other episode down below, and we got to have you back, because even in this conversation, I've already thought about a couple of things that I'm like, oh, we need to talk about that. Oh, we need to talk about that. A couple more episodes. So listen.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. That works for me. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast. Make sure that you rate it and leave us a review. I absolutely love listening to all of the reviews. And follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube, where you are watching this episode. And thank you so much again, Bria. And I will see you guys again next week. This was Affirmations for Black Girls.
Love it. You are so good.
Girl. You are so good.